it up. Good evening to you and welcome to Stretch and Reset. How are we doing this evening? Thumbs up if we're all good, although feeling tired and sleepy. Yes, lots of nodding. Okay, perfect. Well, this evening's class is going to be very, very chilled out. So perfect for you to reset for the week ahead. Things you will need today: make sure you've got some water nearby, make sure you've got a cushion, and make sure you've got a yoga strap or resistance band, dressing gown, tie, anything similar that we can use just to help lever some of our limbs as we go through. But other than that, ping your playlist on from the beginning now if you're using the playlist, and we will get cracking. Oh, let me just turn mine down. That's a bit loud. There we go. Perfect. I am just going to head over to the mat. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me all right. Lovely. I've got different headphones in. I always panic. So we're going to be starting today actually lying down on our backs. So just to get started, pop your cushion down, find a nice comfortable space for yourself, and just lying down on the back to begin today's class. Now, you can be flat to the floor if you wish, or you might find that it's a bit more comfortable for you to have the feet up and knees bent. Or you may find that you want to bring those feet together and just let the knees flop out to the side. Wherever is most comfortable for you is absolutely fine this evening. And before you close those eyes down, just want you to realize it's still light outside, which is potentially the best thing that's happened in the last 4 months since it started being dark. It's our first light stretch and reset again. So how lovely is that? Perfect. And just slowly bring those eyes down to a close as we start to focus on the breathing in through the nose, nice and deeply. Out through the mouth, nice and deeply. In through the nose again. And out through the mouth. Just bringing ourselves nice and calmly and centered into today's stretching. Perfect. If you've got those legs out to the side or flat, I just want you to bring the feet up so that the knees are bent now. So the feet are flat to the floor for me. Just going to start off today with a figure of 4 stretch. So taking the right foot and popping it onto the left thigh for me. We're just going to start off by actually just staying here. So not lifting the leg towards us, just starting off by imagining and pushing away from us, just with the muscle itself, just pushing that right knee away from you slightly. So you start to feel the stretch in the glutes and in the hip, but we're not actually doing anything manual with those hands yet. A nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, reaching through the gap, taking a hold of the back of the hamstring and coming into that figure of 4 stretch. Now, I want you to think about the fact that the leg is coming in towards the body. The chest and the neck aren't going up towards the leg. We want to keep the shoulders as far down onto the floor with the neck as we can. You may need to kind of lift up a little bit as you move into the figure of 4, but once you're in there, just try and relax it down. And once you've found a comfortable place where you can feel the stretch nice and deeply, I want you to again imagine that there's a hand on that right knee pushing that knee away from you, just applying a little bit more to the stretch. And on your next exhale, just pulling that left leg in just a tiny little bit more. It might only be a millimeter. That is absolutely fine. Well done, guys. Now you can either stay here, or if you'd like to, we're going to extend that left leg with a flexed foot and just add in a slight hamstring stretch as well here. Now, if you need, you can keep a little bend in that left leg as well. But whatever you do, just keep that foot flexed, aiming for the toes to come back towards the forehead. And we should still be feeling that stretch nice and deep in the right glute as well. Remember, option of course, to just stay in that figure of 4. Holding for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Uncrossing the right foot. If you haven't already got the left foot elevated, just want you to bring it up using the hands. So the right leg is down on the floor, left leg stays high. Now reaching for your band nearby, and just going to wrap that around the base of the foot, and using the band to just slowly pull that left leg in towards you. Now keeping a nice little bend in the back of the leg for me. And again, working within your own remits here. So don't worry how far back the leg is coming, as long as we can feel a nice deep stretch all the way down the back of that hamstring. Now, for those of you who've been mentioning that you've got some calf soreness going on, just start to flex that foot back towards that forehead for me. And that's going to help shift some of that stretch down into that lower calf area. If this is uncomfortable in the hips at all, then feel free to bring that right leg back up to a bent position. Nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And our final breath here, in through the nose. As you exhale, just bringing it slightly closer towards you and holding for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully unwrapping your band, lowering that leg down towards the floor and just giving the legs a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a wobble, shaking them off. Reach the hands up over the head and just take a nice full body stretch before we move into the same circuit on the other side. Coming back to neutral, bringing the feet flat and knees bent, crossing the left foot onto the right knee, and starting here, just as we did on the other side, with no manipulation, just thinking in our heads about pushing that left knee away from the body. So we start to feel a stretch in that hip. Breathing in and out. And when you're ready, reaching through the gap in between those legs. And as you exhale, just starting to bring yourself into that manipulated figure of 4 stretch. Again, keeping the eyes nice and closed down if you can, and really just channeling into the body and how you're feeling today. If the stretch feels a little bit too much, let it go a little bit. If it doesn't quite feel enough, just give it a little bit more. Nice, Em. Well done, George. Great work, guys. Option now to stretch out that right leg if you wish, and start to include that hamstring stretch as well, keeping the foot flexed if you are taking that option, remember. And also still focusing on bringing that left knee in and keeping that glute stretch going as well. Completely fine if you wish to stay in the bent position here. That's no problem at all. Nice deep breath in and out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And one final breath now for me, in through the nose, nice and deep. And out through the mouth. Uncrossing that left leg and bringing it down to the floor, taking a hold of your band and wrapping it around the right foot this time as we work into our hamstring stretch on this side. So keeping a light bend in the knee, take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, just start to bring that leg in towards you. It doesn't matter about the range of motion here. What matters is that you can feel the stretch. If for you that is a lot closer to the floor or a lot further towards your head than mine is, that is absolutely fine. And just remember, with every exhale, we're giving our body the chance to just move into that stretch a tiny little bit further. Again, for those of you who've mentioned any calf tightness, keeping that foot as flexed as you can throughout this stretch. Nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Final deep breath in through the nose, and on this exhale, just pulling the leg a tiny little bit more and holding for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Unwrapping that foot for me, leg down to the floor. Once again, just give those legs a little bit of a shake off. And when you're ready, hugging the knees in towards the chest with both hands and taking a slow rock across the back from left and over to the right, just massaging that lower spine a little bit. I know that a few of you mentioned that those hips and lower back are feeling quite tight. It's a really nice stretch to just help ease that off. Well done. And when you're ready, coming back to center, straightening out those legs again and just slowly rolling yourself over onto the front, sliding your cushion out the way as you do so. And bringing the hands to either side of the chest for me now that we're on the front. Tops of the feet onto the floor. A nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, pushing that floor away from you as we move up into our first upward dog of today's session. Remember, don't let those shoulders hunch, don't shorten that neck, keep it nice and long for me. And when you're ready, taking a look over the left shoulder and then over the right shoulder. Don't worry if there's any little clicks. Sorry if you can hear my back clicking. Over to the left again. And to the right. And back to the center for me. Once you reach the center, try to bring your feet together, take the knees out wide and sit that bum back into a little child's pose. Now we're going to be doing a few different types of child's pose today as we really target that lower back area. So from our wide-legged child's pose, that's this one here, I just want you to push those hands nice and deeply into the floor as if you're pushing the top of your mat away from you as you do so. Then you should start to feel the back working as you do that. Closing the eyes down. Just taking a moment here to zone into the stretch. Ready. Taking the right arm and feeding it through under the left, bringing the right shoulder to the floor. Increasing that stretch now, so it's working through the backs of those shoulder blades and into that shoulder. If you'd like to take this a little further, then you can also remove the left arm from the floor and bring that up and over the back. Totally up to you though. If you'd like to keep that down to the floor, then feel free. I'm going to be staying here for around 30 seconds as we really stretch through that outside. If you've been doing any strong interval work this week, often when our respiratory rate is increased, we start to find that those muscles around our lungs get pretty tight as well. This is quite a good little stretch to help get in to the back area. If you can, just walk that hand a little bit further away from you as we move into our final 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the right arm back through and just carefully pushing yourself back into our neutral child's pose. And when you feel ready, taking the left arm this time, feeding it under the right and coming into our shoulder stretch. Other side. Again, focusing on keeping this nice and deep, walking that hand a little bit further away from you if you can. And the option here, of course, to remove that right hand and bring it over the back should you wish. Well done, Gemma. Well done, Natty. Again, holding here for around another 20 seconds. You can feel that one side is a little bit tighter than the other. Just making a mental note to focus on that side this week. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to our neutral child's pose once more. When you're feeling ready, lifting the body up onto hands and knees, tucking the toes for me, sending that bum up to the sky into our first downward dog of today's session. Pedaling through those feet, especially if you noted some calf tightness before the class, just pedaling through those feet is really going to help stretch that out. Perfect. Well done, team. Keep it going. We're going to be coming back down into that child's pose very shortly. When you feel ready, a nice deep breath in through the nose, rising onto the toes, and as you exhale, pushing yourself back into our static downward dog for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the knees to the floor, bringing the feet together again, and sitting back into that child's pose once more. We're now going to be working into some more lower back stretching in our child's pose. So what I want you to do is walk the hands over to your left hand side, and with your right hand, I want you to take a hold of your left hand, keeping the head down to the floor, but just starting to feel a nice deep stretch now, all the way down the right hand side of the body, probably down into that hip as well, but a lot lower than we were feeling it in our previous iteration of this one. Looking good, guys. Well done. Remember, focusing that breath, every inhale coming in towards the area that we're stretching. So think about that breath coming in through the nose, through the lungs, into the right hand side of the pelvis, of the lower back. And then as you breathe out, breathing out the tightness from that area. Holding for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walking the hands back into the center, lifting yourself up onto those knees, tucking the toes, and bum up towards the sky as we move back into that pedaling downward dog for the second time. If you feel ready to keep this in static, then please feel free to do so. Just if those legs are feeling a little bit worse for wear, then you might want to keep it as a pedaled iteration for the majority. Looking good, guys. Nice. All together now, rising up onto our toes as we inhale. And as we exhale, pushing back into that downward dog static for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the knees out wide, bringing the feet together and back into our child's pose. This time walking the hands over to the right hand side, taking a hold of the right hand with the left hand and coming into our side stretch again here. Perhaps you're noticing that higher or lower on the back feels tighter on this side. Again, just useful mental notes to make as we move into a new week. Areas to focus your stretching on, and also any manual manipulation as well. Holding for me for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the hands back to the center, lifting onto your knees, tucking the toes, and back into our downward dog again, either pedaling or static, whichever you're more comfortable in today. Again, a little reminder that if you've been having some calf tightness, the static is going to be a little bit more helpful for you. But what you might find is you want to deep bend the right knee and stay static on the left leg for a little bit, and then swap and deep bend the left knee and stay static on the right side. That's going to help you work in to any specific tightness that you found if one side is feeling a little bit worse than the other, for example. Nice, Emily. I've only got one Emily today. Less confusion. They're all watching it on demand now, like, which Emily was here though? Well done, team. Perfect. Up onto those tiptoes with an inhale for me. And as you exhale, pushing down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stepping the right foot to the outside of the left hand for me. I want you to lower the right knee to the floor, untuck the toe, and we're going to come up into a half kneeling position. I'll wait until we're all there. No rush, guys, moving at a nice and slow pace this evening. Once you reach that half kneel, I just want you to start thinking about rocking backwards onto the heel and then forwards into the hip. So we're moving from our fullest extension through the hip to our fullest closure through the hip. As we move into the closure, think about flexing the toe towards the forehead. And as we move into the extension, think about bending through that front knee. Good work, guys. And next time you come back, I want you to sit onto that right heel and bring the arms down to each side as we stretch through the back of that hamstring on the left leg. If you need the hands on the floor, that's fine. If you can't quite reach the floor, just try sitting the body a little bit more upright if you need to. You're going to help yourself here by flexing those toes towards the forehead and keeping a light bend in that knee. Nice work, guys. Keep it going for me. With your next exhale, if you feel ready, just lowering the chest a little bit more towards that thigh. Don't worry if you already feel like you're as far as your body can go today, then please stay there, holding for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully lifting yourself back up into our half kneel, feet staying where they are, hands coming down to the floor. Definitely meant to say hands there. Wiggling and heel toeing that left foot over to the right hand side, lowering the left knee down to the floor and coming into our pigeon on this side. You know, when you all said hips and glutes, there was going to be a pigeon in here, right? If you wish, staying up on those hands, but if you'd like to lower down, remember you can use that cushion as a blocker, or you can lower all the way down onto the floor, onto the forearms, or make yourself a little pillow and have a little nap. Nice deep breathing here. We're going to be staying in the pigeon for a full 60 seconds. So I really want you to close those eyes down. Are you tensing anywhere in that glute, in the thigh, whether it's the front or the back? Looking good, guys. Keep that breathing nice and deep. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just allowing the body to fall into that nice deep stretch. Try not to resist. If you wish, you've got about 15 seconds left, so lowering down to the next level if you want to. Holding for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly sliding your cushion out the way if you were using one and lifting yourself back onto those hands. From here, I just want you to tuck the toe of the right foot behind you. Keeping the left leg where we are, we're just going to lift the right knee off the floor, and we're just going to do some slow rock backs into that calf. So from pointing all the way to flexing through those toes, you might want to lift yourself up on your fingers a bit more, and you should start to feel a nice deep stretch through the back of that calf again, especially if it's as tight as mine is. We're not going to be staying here for too long, but just a little bit more through that calf before we move on. When you're ready, drop that knee down to the floor again. Hands to the center, step that left leg back to the right and back up into our downward dog. Pedaling through those legs. Not for long. When you're ready, stepping the right foot to the outside of the right hand, lowering the left knee and bringing yourself into half kneel on the other side. Perfect. And again, from here, we're just going to start that rocking process. So forwards, extending, and then backwards, closing off the joint. Just working through flexion and extension. Another few reps here, just to open it up nicely. Wait a minute, this side's a lot tighter than the other one. Whew. And next time you rock backwards, lowering down onto that heel, lifting the toes up towards you on that right foot and coming into our hamstring stretch on that side. A light bend in the knee, keeping the back nice and soft. Try not to tense through the back. And remember, the height is wherever you feel. If you can feel a nice stretch upright, then that's absolutely fine. If you can't, then just slowly walk the hands forwards until you can feel that stretch down the back. Nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Holding for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lifting yourself back up into that half kneel. Wiggle that right foot over towards the left-hand side of the mat. The knee comes down to the right and lowering into our pigeon pose on the right-hand side. Starting up on those hands, but when you feel ready, if you wish, lowering down onto the cushion, onto your block, or directly onto the floor. Once again, we're going to be staying in this pigeon for just over 60 seconds. So really relaxing into the stretch, letting go of any tension that you can feel. Maybe you can feel yourself pointing the foot, or perhaps you can feel a frown in the face. With your next exhale, let that go. Holding here. Close the eyes. A nice deep breathing. Good work, guys. Around another 20 seconds. If you wish to lower down a level at all, then now is your time to do so. Well done. And for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully lifting yourself back up onto those hands, taking the cushion out the way if you had one there, tucking the left toe and lifting that left knee as we just do some of those rocks once again, flexing the toes down into that calf, forwards and backwards, just a little bit, a few reps here. Well done, guys. And when you're feeling ready, bringing the hands to rest, stepping the right foot through into the final downward dog for today. Hopefully feeling a massive difference between now and the first one that we took ourselves through. If you wish to come into static, then now is the time to give that a go. We're going to be here for 30 seconds. Well done, Matty. Nice, George. If you're still pedaling through that downward dog, then you've got 10 seconds now. I just want you to challenge yourself to push through nice and deeply down the backs of those legs for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing your weight over the hands into a high plank position for me. Lower the knees, lower that chest down towards the floor. And once you reach the floor, using those hands to push yourself back up into your upward dog. Rotating over that left shoulder and over the right shoulder. Once more over the left and over the right. Slowly lowering the chest back down towards the floor. Grab your cushion for me. Carefully rolling over onto the back once more and bringing yourself to a resting position. I'd suggest feet together and knees out nice and relaxed, but if that's uncomfortable for you, then do just lie with the legs flat. This is just a good position to counteract the lower back stretching that we've been doing. Nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're just going to take some time here to work through our final few stretches. So when you're ready, if your legs aren't already outstretched, stretching out the left leg away from you and bringing the right knee into the chest for me. I want you to imagine that you're pulling that right knee into the right armpit. So you're really opening up the hip at the same time. Perhaps a few circles here, clockwise, anti-clockwise, a few figures of 8, wherever you feel you need to take that hip. And when you're ready, taking the right arm out to the side, the left hand takes the outside of the right knee, looking to the right hand side as we come into a spinal twist over to the left. Oh, that was my back, sorry. I'm going to be holding here for around 30 seconds. So closing those eyes down. Focusing on breathing into that lower spinal area. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully rolling back onto the back and bringing that right knee in for one final hug. Outstretching the right leg and bringing the left knee in now for its turn. Again, clockwise, anti-clockwise, figure of 8, just opening up that hip a little. And when you feel ready, taking the left arm out to the side, gaze goes to the left, right hand to the outside of the left knee, and we bring that leg over to the right hand side this time. Again, we're going to be staying here for around 30 seconds. So nice depth focus on that breathing. Looking good, guys. Well done. Perfect. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And when you're ready, bringing that left knee in for a hug as we roll back onto the back. This time, bring the right knee in to join. Nice big hug, and slowly, once again, massaging that lower back against the mat with some small rocks from left to right. Next time you come back to center, just want you to lower those legs down for me, coming into a completely laying position, hands out to the side, feet falling open, closing those eyes down. And we're just going to have a minute here to think about how this week's training has gone, how life's gone this week. I just want you to think about all the positives that have happened this week. No negatives, just positives. And think how those times made you feel as well. Did they put a smile on your face? Did they make you feel happy in your heart? And I want you to take that feeling with you into next week. Keeping the eyes closed, just focusing on nice deep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you're ready to finish off today's class, then slowly rolling over onto one side into a fetal position. If you wish to stay here in your relaxing position a little bit longer, then please feel free to do so. Keeping those eyes closed, pushing the palms to the floor to bring yourself into a seated position, bringing those legs crossed for me, and carefully placing the hands onto the knees. Taking a nice deep breath all together and lifting those shoulders all the way up to the ears. And as we exhale, rolling them down and back. Think about those shoulder blades coming together. You should be sat now nice and chest proud, chin high. And all together, just taking one final deep breath in through the nose and sighing out through the mouth. When you're ready, taking the hands to cover the eyes and slowly blinking the eyes back open before removing the hands to slowly let that light back in. And I'm pleased to report that here, at least, it's even now still light outside. How times have changed. I'm coming on over, guys. Hello. How are we doing? Is everyone feeling a bit more zen or a bit more loosey-goosey? How are we feeling? A bit of both? Fab, perfect. Got a bit toasty in here partway through. Oh, well done, team. It was lovely to see you all this evening. I hope you enjoyed our focus of lower back and hips tonight. Obviously, we had a little bit of calf in there as well. Do let me know, as always, if you have any feedback on any of our stretch and reset sessions. I will get this uploaded because I remembered to record it. So it will be available in True Coach from tomorrow morning before you all. If you wish to use the session again. And all that's left for me to say is have a lovely Sunday evening, everyone. Let me know if you've got any questions on your upcoming training in True Coach or anything, and I will get straight back to you. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays. Bye, team.